Okay, which choice best describes the overall structure of the text? This is basically a function question. So we want to know what this text functions to do. According to Indian economist and sociologist Mukherjee, the Eurocentric concepts that informed early 20th century social scientific models, for example, the idea that all social relations are reducible to struggles between individuals. This had little relevance for India. So the idea in the Europe, Western idea that, individuals and the struggles for one versus the other determines the social models, that didn't apply to India for some reason. Maybe there's some communal or group model that works better. Making the social sciences more responsive to Indians' needs, Mukherjee argued, required constructing analytical categories informed by India's cultural and ecological circumstances. Mukherjee thus proposed the communalist Indian village as the ideal model on which to base Indian economic and social policy. So apparently people respond to the communalist village view, not necessarily their individual struggles within the village. And that's a better model of how sociology works in India. So let's see which answer would indicate this function. A, the text recounts Mukherjee's early training in social scientific disciplines and then lists social policies whose implementation, nothing says he implemented these policies. That's not correct. B, the text mentions some of Mukherjee's economic theories. Actually, really kind of only has one theory, and I'm not sure that's an entire economic theory in itself, and then traces their impact on other Indian social scientists of the 20th. No, there are no other social scientists mentioned here. B is not correct. C, the text presents Mukherjee's critique of the social sciences. Yes, he does have a critique. The individual model is not quite correct for India, and then provides an example of his attempts to address issues he identified. So he provides an example of a communalist Indian village as an alternative measurement of the ideal model. So this could well be our right answer. Let's just check D. The text explains an influential economic theory and then demonstrates how that theory was more important to Mukherjee's work than other social scientists have acknowledged. Well, how would other social scientists know it's more important? Again, this false comparative idea, which appears throughout different wrong answer choices. That's not right. C is the correct answer. Mukherjee critiqued the individual sociology view and replaced it with a communalist Indian village view. 16. Which choice best describes the function of the underlined text as a whole? Okay. The following text is adapted from Indian Boyhood, a 1902 memoir by such and such, a Santee, Dakota writer. In the text, Ohiyesa recalls how the women in his tribe harvested maple syrup during his childhood. Now the woman began to test the trees, moving leisurely among them, axe in hand, and striking a single quick blow to see if the sap would appear. The trees, like people, have their individual characters. Some were ready to yield up their lifeblood, while others were more reluctant. Okay? So we want to know the function of this line. Well, it seems to be functioning that the trees can be compared to people, right? They're giving or not giving. Now, one of the birchen basins was set under each tree, and a hardwood chip driven deep into the cut into which the axe had been made. From the corners of this chip, at first drop by drop, then more freely, the sap trickled into the little dishes. So it is A, portraying the range of personality traits displayed by the women as they work. No, it's not the personality traits displayed by the women. That's the wrong subject. B, it foregrounds the beneficial relationship between humans and maple trees. No, it's not about the relationship between humans and trees. That's not it. Okay. Certainly that's not the idea of the underlined sentence. The underlined sentence is to indicate that the trees are somewhat like people. They're personified. C, it demonstrates how human behavior can be influenced by the natural environment. So is this human behavior being influenced by the natural environment? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. The human behavior is simply to get the sap from the trees. And the natural environment isn't influencing that human behavior. D, it elaborates on an aspect of the maple trees that the women evaluate. It elaborates on an aspect of the maple trees that the women evaluate. Yes, it's elaborating on a particular aspect of the maple trees. They move among them, axe in hand, striking a quick blow. So it's an aspect of the maple trees that they're like individuals. They're unique. And the women evaluate that based on their lifeblood, how much they give up. I think C is the correct answer.